Ho ho ho, everyone! Welcome back to Send It's Weather channel. Oh yes, we've pulled out the Christmas app for a very special reason today, because this one is pretty epic. As you can probably gather, we're looking at the CFS today because the next few weeks are looking pretty bland. As a lot of people like to point out to me in the comments, but honestly, I don't really care what you think. If you like me or you hate me, it's whatever. I put out what I want to upload, don't I? But yeah, we're going to be looking at the CFS long range run for the next few weeks to see how that's right. With the Christmas hat on, I know it looks silly, but you'll see why in a minute. But yeah, it works. Yeah, we'll be looking at the latest because it's pretty bland at the moment. We'll run through the current trends with the CFS, for the next few days because they're pretty certain. Low pressure systems moving in from off the Atlantic, very mild, wet, and windy conditions. Maybe exceptionally mild into the second week of December with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, and obviously that drags in a mild southwesterly airflow. We've got higher pressure towards Spain, lower pressure up towards Iceland, and winds are in from a southwesterly direction. Oh, I feel so silly wearing this hat. But here we go. This is the reason we've got the hat on. By Christmas period, around the 19th of December, a bit earlier than Christmas, higher pressure begins to ridge out into the Atlantic. Lower pressure systems slide towards Scandinavia, and winds switch into a northerly direction. Send it to Scandi, send it to Greenland, bring down a cold northerly wind. There you go. Colder air begins to surge southwards. Quick ridge builds through the country by the 20th, but by the 21st, here we go. High pressure is properly ridging out into the Atlantic. A low pressure system is sliding into the North Sea / the English Channel and is sliding into France and Germany, and winds switch into a northerly direction. Takes a couple of days, but everywhere is cold. By the 23rd, jingle bells. Winds in from a northerly direction, and looking pretty chilly there. Not the most wintry, but there's Christmas Day. Could be a wintry shower. Like this could be a trough here. This actually looks like a weather front or a trough moving down the country here. And that would encourage maybe a few areas to see a bit of snow. I'm looking at you, James. Your shed would be getting the Christmas spirit on. But yeah, it looks pretty cold there actually. It looks pretty wintry as well in the north and the east. If you do like these style of videos, by the way, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Cheers all for hitting 2.9k subs. We are on the road to 3k. Can we hit it by the end of the year? Let's see. But anyway, higher pressure is maintained onto Boxing Day, is still out to the the west and northwest, and low pressure is centred over France, winds in from a northeasterly direction, so remaining chilly and probably more snow showers drifting inland. But it gets even more epic as I head into January. As you can see, maybe quite a lot of frost and quite a lot of frost and fog. I can't speak. Frost and fog developing into the final days of December here, before higher pressure again retrogressing or ridging out into the Atlantic. And we've got a diver low there on the 3rd. That is an absolute blizzard for the south there. Low pressure system sliding southwards, winds back into a northeasterly direction with a proper Atlantic ridge up towards Greenland. Winds in from a northeasterly direction. And look at that on the 4th of January. Higher pressure is still kind of over the country, but some areas in the south and southeast will be seeing snow showers. Bitterly cold air drifting in from the east. Look at that. It's an absolute, that's a winter lover's dream, that one. Proper cold air, sat over the top of the UK. Daytime temperatures not much above freezing, and frequent wintry showers in the east and southeast are probably possible with that. Again, and another go, high pressure just maintaining out to the west, and even when it topples, it reforms, and it goes back up towards the northwest. Eventually, it does weaken, though, but not before we get a low pressure systems pushing into that cold air. We've got high pressure still evident up to the northwest, just weakened. Got colder air sat to our east, and it's still bringing in the wind from a northeasterly direction. Low pressure system trying to push in from the south, but the cold air forces it away and it wins out. We can get a ridge through the country before eventually Atlantic weather systems win out. But not for long though, because into the 3rd week of January, higher pressure is back up to the northeast, up towards Scandi. We send it to Scandi. Higher pressure up to between Iceland and Scandinavia. Winds back into a pretty cold northeasterly direction, and it's a long fetched one, so the colder air is back across the UK. The -10 line is back in business, and it's pretty cold again. Got that -10 line sliding through the UK. Plenty of wintry showers in the east again, maybe drifting further inland because that is a pretty strong easterly wind. And yeah, it goes colder again. Higher pressure out to the west of the UK, lower pressure is slanted to the south. Eventually, it does turn milder into February. As you can see, yeah, low pressure system's moving back in. But again, higher pressure back up to the north, low pressure to the south. Winds back into a northeasterly direction, turning colder and wintry again. Got a weather front diving through the country on the 3rd, 4th of February. And that would also be bringing in some wintry showers. Low pressure system pushing up from the south into that cold air as well. Would be some fun and games in the south. But of course, here, probably central England and the Midlands seeing some snow there because the milder air has slightly moved in, or it hasn't fully been displaced. But still looking quite cold. Plenty of frosty nights with this. Into February, though, it does turn milder. We do see heights try to rise towards Scandinavia on multiple occasions, but they don't win out and they eventually topple. And then everything looks quite mild. Does have colder interludes at times as we go through March, but of course we're not looking out that far ahead. But pretty epic run, you've got to admit that is pretty epic through January. That would be definitely a below average January, and would be probably one of the more exceptional ones that we've seen in recent years. I'm trying to think of Januaries that are like this, 2021. But can't forget white Christmas possibilities. If you're wondering what the definition of a white Christmas is, it is one snowflake falling out of the sky. And I'm not talking about people. No, it's the definition is one snowflake falling out of the sky. Anywhere in the UK, that counts as a white Christmas. So definitely there's possibilities. Might say it looks quite dry, but there probably would be a few wintry showers around in maybe the north and the northwest with that feature moving down the country. But yeah, an exceptionally cold run. Daytime temperatures would not be much above freezing for quite a few weeks, to be honest. And even when it does turn milder or less cold, it doesn't last for very long before the cold winds back out again. This is sort of the pattern that we're hoping for. We're hoping for through December, but unfortunately, it's not really come to fruition yet. But there's still a long way to go. The first half of December is a write-off, but the second half is much more up to debate and up to question, especially around Christmas. So we'll just have to wait and see how things develop. So yeah, that's just, that's a quick one from me. We'll actually take a look at the AI forecast. I thought I'd have a look at this. I searched it up here. Look, this is from the AI. The chances of a widespread Christmas card, white Christmas, with snow lying on the ground across the UK this winter are slim. Forecasters currently suggest a higher likelihood of milder, wetter, and unsettled conditions leading up to including Christmas Day. Well, that's a way to say bar humbug, isn't it, in a PG way? If you have a look at the actual AI forecast, this is from Copilot, Microsoft Copilot. The quick answer, the UK Christmas 2025 forecast suggests wet and windy weather is most likely, with only a small chance. Oh, dearie me. What a disaster. Well, you can't even see it, can you? Oh, dearie me. Well, there you go. It's probably a write-off, isn't it? Snow location. Any potential snow is expected to be confined to higher ground in the north, primarily Scotland and northern England. And widespread snow lying on the ground is rare. But who cares about lying on the ground? We only care about falling snow. And if you want to know the chances, Aberdeen, 50%. Let's go. Let's all move to Aberdeen then. Followed by other Scottish cities like Edinburgh and Glasgow, 44%. And places like where I am, Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester, about 2%. So, pretty good. And if you live in the south, you might as well write off you might as well count your chickens because it's not happening. So, yeah. There you go. That's just a bit of a fun forecast from me. Thought I'd put the Christmas on because, it did show a white Christmas. How likely is that run to verify? Not very much. And if you do take it seriously, I do apologise. So yeah, thank you all for watching today's silly video. If you did enjoy it, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. I'll be back with regular videos very soon. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.